Hello and welcome to Corbett's Comments. Today I'm commenting on the word remember and on Joshua chapter 4 verses 1 through 8, which reads, "When the whole nation had finished crossing the Jordan, the Lord said to Joshua, 'Choose 12 men from among the people, one from each tribe, and tell them to take up the 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, from right where the priests are standing, and carry them over with you and put them down at the place where you stay tonight.' So Joshua called together the 12 men he had appointed from the Israelites, one from each tribe, and said to them, 'Go over before the ark of the Lord your God into the middle of the Jordan. Each of you is to take up a stone on his shoulder, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, to serve as a sign among you. In the future, when your children ask you, 'What do these stones mean?' tell them that the flow of the Jordan was cut off before the ark of the covenant of the Lord. When it crossed the Jordan, the waters of the Jordan were cut off. These stones are to be a memorial to the people of Israel forever." So the Israelites did as Joshua commanded them. They took 12 stones from the middle of the Jordan, according to the number of the tribes of the Israelites, as the Lord had told Joshua, and they carried them over with them to their camp, where they put them down. You know, one of Israel's biggest problems was a bad memory. They were like the man who has 3 pairs of glasses, one for nearsightedness, one for farsightedness, and one to find the other 2 when he forgot where he put them. Israel forgot what God did for them time and time again. They forgot what life was like before God saved them. They forgot who God was and what He is like. They forgot that God fought all of their battles for them and had given them all of their victories. Every time they forgot, they got into trouble. And when God helped them to cross the Jordan River, He wanted Israel to remember what He had done. And so He required them to establish a memorial. He included all 12 tribes, and He included rocks which came from the riverbed and which had a distinctive look that was different than the native rocks on the riverbank. He even told them what to say when their children asked about it. This is just like the Passover, which is a meal of observance and remembrance. You know, I like to linger at monuments and museums to try to understand what they represent, and this is exactly what God wanted the children of Israel to do. Now today, we too need to remember. We need to remember God and what He's done for us. And so we need to study God's Word to see His past record. You know, in a strange sort of way, this is like deer hunting. Most people think sitting in a deer stand and harvesting a deer is how you hunt them, but that's not really true. That's really just harvesting the deer. No, you actually hunt the deer by scouting out where they have been and then placing your deer stand or your blind to overlook that place. You know where the deer will go because of the tracks of where they've been. And this is the same with God and why we need to study God's Word. We know where God will go and what He will do by where He's gone before and what He has done before. We also need to walk with God on a daily basis to remember how He's blessed us in that day. In addition, we need to fellowship with other believers and see how He works in their lives as well. Finally, we need to make sure that our children remember also. You know, the church is only one generation away from extinction. To prevent that tragedy, we need to be people who remember God's works. Now, this Sunday is Memorial Day, which gives us another dimension about the word remember. On Memorial Day, we need to remember all those who have died fighting for the cause of freedom. One of the most touching memorials I ever remember attending was when I was the chaplain for the 441st Explosive Ordnance Disposal Battalion, and we were deployed to Iraq. Each year, the EOD community observes a memorial ceremony to remember all those EOD technicians that were killed in the line of duty during the previous year. As the name of each deceased hero is read, the congregation replies with the refrain, "We remember." It sent chills down my back. Like the church, our nation is only one generation from extinction. We're not a perfect people, but we have worked harder to implement the lofty goals that our forefathers codified in the Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. We need to remember this Memorial Day that those who have died in the cause of freedom have died for a righteous cause, and we need to dedicate ourselves to defending those same liberties with all the righteous means at hand. This Memorial Day, let us say with gratitude to our God and to our fallen heroes, we remember. Thanks for watching. Every blessing. I'm Dr. Otis Corbett.